What is up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby profiles. We'll go horse by horse as we lead up to the 2026 Kentucky Derby and kind of just have individual profiles for each horse. On this video, we are going to do Commandment, the horse that has earned the most Kentucky Derby points leading up to the race here, and a horse that has actually four straight victories, three this year, and those three this year coming at Gulfstream Park. All right, let's get to it now. Put him up on the screen for you. And we're talking again about Commandment, a horse that, like you kind of see on the screen here, 3 starts this year, 3 wins, 4 starts overall, 5 victories there. Brad Cox training this horse. All right, let's go down here to the results from his past performances. Don't really worry about the debut there, and that is pretty meaningless compared to what we're going to be doing in the Kentucky Derby. So kind of a toss out there. He did run fourth on debut at Keeneland, broke the maiden nicely at Churchill Downs. That's all well and good, but he really started to show himself as a 3-year-old here at Gulfstream Park, the Mucho Macho Man Stakes, to open up the season. And look, this was a really nice effort, but there wasn't a whole lot in the race, so there was some skepticism about, okay, good race, but who is he long term? We're going to find out in the Fountain of Youth. Stretching out to 2 turns in the Fountain of Youth, and just a really, really nice effort. Kind of sat mid-pack that day, raced inside of other horses, and just kind of rallied up the rail to get the job done, holding off Chief Wallaby. And then in the Florida Derby, totally opposite. He was not racing inside of horses there. He was kind of pinched early in the race. He dropped back towards the back of the pack and actually was last for a while. And then had an outside rally and went outside and circled them to get the job done. I say circled them. He circled all of them, but one, that horse was the Puma, where he just barely nosed the Puma out in a head bobbing finish. So you can see here quite the resume on this horse. Those 4 wins, very, very impressive indeed. Now let's look at pedigree, because we know that is very important when it comes to getting a 1.25 miles. And there has kind of been some rumors that maybe this horse can't get it or won't get it quite quite as well as others. I'm not so sure. Horses buy into mischief. That doesn't have me worried. The horse is out of an Orb mare. Of course, Orb won the Kentucky Derby back in his day. So, no problem on the bottom for me either. So I think he'll be okay. It's a pedigree that I do think will get 1.25 miles. I think when you look at the running style of this horse, he was towards the back of the pack in the Florida Derby. And like I said, he was last there for a bit, but didn't get the best beginning. And I think Flavien Prat just kind of let him relax, kind of let him get his stride under him. But, in the Fountain of Youth, he did set a little bit closer. So in terms of the Kentucky Derby, I do not think he's going to be on the lead or stalking the pace or pressing the pace. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I do think he will be a horse that, I don't know, can sit maybe mid-pack if he gets out of the gate okay. But look, if he does get further back, we just saw him rally from last to win. So, look, I'm not overly concerned about, his positioning. It's more so than let's just get a decent trip. Let's not get stopped, things like that. Now, let's talk about the negative on this horse, because really all I just talked about, there really isn't a negative, right? It's a lot of positive talk. He can't keep a jockey, and that is the absolutely bizarre thing, right? As you see on the screen, last time out, Flavien Prat rode this horse in the Florida Derby. He rode him only because Irad Ortiz jumped off of him after winning the Fountain of Youth. Irad Ortiz went to ride Renegade, and now Flavien Prat has went to ride Emerging Market. I think some of this could be explained by the ownership group. When you look at this ownership group, they don't have a ton of horses that these major jockeys are going to ride, right? So you just kind of look and go, okay, well, Flavien Prat's going to go ride for Chad Brown and Clairvitch Stables on Emerging Market, because that's who's going to give him business all throughout the season. You look at Irad Ortiz Jr., he's going to go ride for Todd Pletcher. He's going to go ride Renegade, Mike Rapoli, co-owner of that with the Lowe's, and that's who gives him business all throughout the year. Now, they could also really like those horses as well, and that could be, but when you just kind of look at race replays and when you look at, what this horse has done and how he's looked, he's about as good as you're going to find. He has really, really been solid. Again, there's a lot of people kind of like, well, I don't know about 1.25 miles, but he passed them all going a mile and an eighth, and he was accelerating in the stretch a little bit there. So I really think he can get the distance. I just think it's a matter of the jockeys maybe kind of making business decisions and kind of taking on horses that for people they're going to ride for all year long. So final verdict on Commandment, major contender. As I record this, I've got him ranked number 2. I will say, though, that this could change because this is, I feel like, a pretty wide open Derby. I don't think it's an open and shut case, really, but I think Commandment is a major player in this year's Kentucky Derby. All right, that'll do it for this video. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get to learn anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the site for more Kentucky Derby news.